It is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gales and floods, but if not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
Need guidance on life, auto, or homeowners insurance? Contact Kate Woolman State Farm for all your insurance needs. Rates can be more affordable than you think, and protecting what matters most to you is important. Call Ben at 719-539-6265 and he'll set you up with what you need. That's 719-539-6265.
I would very much like to be speaking with you, but outside of the ears of these people.
She waves her hand again, and you've seen something like this appear. A semi-translucent ethereal door pops into existence.
Please, after you.
I insist, after you.
That is not how this will work, Schnorsboop.
And she gestures towards the door again.
Peppy goes through the door.
Same.
All right, sure, I'll go in there.
She walks in after, closes it.
Oh, does it track?
It doesn't. As soon as, if you're keeping an eye on their signatures, as soon as they walk through this door, they vanish.
That's what I need to know. Okay. I'll stop paying attention now.
I'm sorry, you were tracking us?
I've
He has
always
your-
tracked you.
Yeah, he has your signatures, your arcane signatures that everyone holds around, and he pays attention to yours to keep track.
I don't remember consenting to that, but okay.
It would be like consenting someone to look your direction.
I didn't agree to those cookies. He's a robot.
Well, then that's probably something I'll have to have a conversation with BT with later. As soon as you all walk in, though, it's a very comfortable dining room. Not dining room, sitting room, excuse me. There's a table with 4 chairs. Yeah, 4 chairs around, because there's 4 of you. 4 chairs around it, and a nice little big glass with some kind of liquid on the inside of it that immediately picks itself up and starts pouring into empty crystal glasses on the table. So you all finish walking in, the door shuts. She walks around to the table.
Apologies, I needed you to enter before me for reasons. Welcome to a secure spot to speak.
Well, thank you. Well, what would you like to speak about?
You? There is much about you that I don't understand. And I would like to.
Oh, ask away.
Oh, very well. What are your primordial names?
What's yours?
You first.
Peppy purses her lips and remains silent.
Aligns well with your aptitude. And you others?
Philemon.
A given name.
And she looks at you, Taffy.
Teffy looks at her.
I'm gonna look between her and Teffy, and then back to her, and then back to Teffy, and then back to her, and I'm just gonna say, "She's fear."
Teffy's going to do like a side glance, just give him the stink eye real quick.
I make direct eye contact with you, and I do this.
And then she's going to return to looking at Quinlan, or whatever her name was.
Quilana.
That.
That wasn't so hard, was it? I don't have a primordial. I am bondless. Shame, though. It looked as though you have quite the power outlets with yours. Do you know any that are free?
Last I checked, you're trying to kill us all and dismantle our guild. So why should we be inclined to assist with that?
Kill you? That is not the case. I don't have your contracts, nor do I want them. I am merely challenging the guild. No one dies in these challenges.
There's shame and dishonor and unemployment.
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Again, why should we want to help you get more power?
Because I might be inclined to help.
Teffy is unimpressed.
I think I know where one is. Actually, I think it's two. I need to remember. aka look through my notes.
Are you thinking about that too in that city?
Yes.
Interesting. That's loss and pain, I think, to make agony?
Yes.
Or maybe loss and sadness to make agony?
Hang on, let me get to the riddle again. Stay with me until you find the place to never see the feelings of pain and loss combined for all eternity.
For all eternity, yeah. Yes, I believe pain and loss are under the city.
Yondo.
Yondo. Yes. Thank you, Teflessa.
Oh no, that was Tangerine helping Peter. That was not
I know.
Effie engaging in the conversation.
I heard you went to that city for a while. Not sure there's much to go for a pile of runes.
Well, those primordials are there. I will say they're fairly unpleasant, but perhaps they could be convinced.
And would you be willing to show me the way?
Oh, I don't think you would need to be shown as long as you know where the city is. So, they seem to be very pervasive.
Ah. You've been very forthcoming.
Well, it was my understanding that we were wanting to be friends. That seemed like the best way to start a friendship.
I'm not going to lie at a loss with this. I've heard many reports and seen many things of what your general here is capable of. And yet you come in presenting yourselves quite politely. I
Yes,
wouldn't
well,
have expected that for the companions of General Ultian.
Ultian,
Speak lightly and carry a big stick.
Ultian loves his country and wants to see it flourish.
Clearly, he brought it into a civil war.
Sometimes, to inspire growth in a forest, you have to burn it down.
Surprisingly wise.
I'm an old man. I gotta get something.
And historically, violence is the only means to actually acquire.
Now, old Tien, don't step too far. Violence is not the answer.
Can be.
But it is a solution.
Violence is not an answer, but it is a solution and can be. Such a mixed presence you have.
It balances out.
Doesn't it? How much have
At
you
least we
fixed
tried.
compared to how much you've destroyed? I have bills that show how much you've destroyed. What have you fixed?
Saved a couple gals from slavery. Got a couple of wayward bandits jobs. People who lived in squalor. Squalor's the word. Squalor now live in a city that is flourishing.
Stopped a serial killer who was idolizing one of the primordials who wants to see the downfall of this entire universe.
Yep.
I've
Stop some
not
demons from
heard
earthquaking a
of
place.
That one. I've heard of your demons with the earthquakes from Julian, but I did not hear of this serial killer.
Yes.
She wouldn't have said serial because you didn't say that. This killer. Tell me more about that.
Well,
In Istrago, there was a student who was almost worshipping one of the primordials who wishes to see the downfall of everything that we know and everything that ever could be. He was dubbed the Carousel Killer. He would not only kill his victims, but he would freeze them into specific poses that he thought would invoke this primordial to come down and show him goodwill.
And is that how it works?
No.
Then how does it work?
Depends.
I convinced Philemon just to be friends, and he wanted to be my friend.
She looks as though she's starting to get a bit more quizzical in her looks, like her brow is furrowing a little bit more. She peels her eye contact away from Teffy for a while. That was a very intense stare. Whew. Looks a little baffled for a moment.
Were all your primordials already here when you found them?
Here being?
Alive?
Oh, yes.
What you say suggests they arrive through different methods.
Ooh, careful there. I think you might have actually accidentally inhaled a piece of food. It's devastating.
That damn baloney.
Right. Just trying to kill no baloney. Stop that. I see the sweat starting to glisten. Are you alright, Peter? Are you okay?
Just some slobber inhaled. Don't worry about it.
No!
I can see the struggle. You're good. Okay, we don't need to call the wife in. Alright.
Oh, very good. I don't remember what we were talking about.
They all come in different ways, but you found them already here. And you said
Yeah.
bring an end. How do you mean?
Well, there's a cycle happening that just keeps repeating. And there are some entities that want it to just stop, so there would be nothing. We're kind of on the team of let's keep this thing going, because we're on this ride. And then I think there's another team that just wants to keep resetting for some reason unknown to me.
And which team did this one play for?
Wait, what?
Was this the reset? Keep everything going?
That is a great question.
I think
TBD.
I think that individual is definitely opposed to keep going, and I want to say leaning towards ending it. But I don't have full certainty about that. That particular individual is not very forthcoming, and when questions were asked, they kicked us to the curb. So,
And my research
But,
was correct. There really isn't that much known, is there?
not much. But let's ask you some questions. It's been one-sided.
It's supposed to be.
Why do you want to dishonor us and unemploy us?
A simple business. You're rising in fame a little too quickly for the Monumental Six to leave. And not surprising, given who's your guild master. He's quite capable.
Could you be convinced to not?
I think that would take a request that the general here would not be willing to accept. I would. Only if you manage to get Jeth to actually take his seat where he belongs. But good luck quelling the rebellion and convincing them to accept a merchant republic now. Best thing I can do is destroy his reputation and try to take the seat myself.
A seat? What kind of seat? What are we talking about here?
Your guild master is more than what he says. Far more than what he says. I knew him when he was a little boy, you know. Such a happy little orc running around everywhere he went. He's changed much in that time. Alas, not a history for me to be giving you. If he has not told you, then it is his will to say, not mine.
I mean, I'm aware that he used to be an orc, used to do other things, what have you. But is this a seat is a seat available in Monumental 6 or some kind of other group?
Well, perhaps actually I should violate this trust for a moment. Your guildmaster is the only living heir to the head of the largest company that runs Grantinan. We were well in line to get his father to actually organize the country as a merchant republic before he was killed. He was forced into exile many years ago. He returned, planned on doing something and helping Grantinan back, but has always been convinced that it's not through our old plans. I'm not there yet. And even more now, I think we are pressed to follow through with what we were going to do. But it needs the figurehead. I cannot do that. I am part of the guilds. And he rightfully can still, as he is still low in the totem pole. So in truth, Schnozzboop, I come here to belittle your name and defame you in order to force him to take the seat that he rightfully should be taking. as the ruler of Grantinan.
Huh. Well, that seems like an okay reason.
That's what I thought. And apparently he's quite upset about it.
That Julian can get upset about things, very trivial things, just, you know. But, Ultian, Teffy, any questions or thoughts, what have you?
No.
All right. Well, this wasn't as friendly as I had hoped, if I'm going to be honest.
I would apologize, but it doesn't really bother me. You have my criteria of what I would like. If you follow through and you actually convince him in some way, I might yet call this whole thing off. And be interested in working with you in what you're doing. The danger of this world is, well, rightfully a concern of mine.
Very well, very well. What do you want most in the world?
To finally live in a moment of peace. And no, not through your means. Your organization is a sham.
Oh, I concur. Definitely a sham. But that doesn't mean that they're incorrect.
I would have to think on that.
Speaking of which, just so you're aware, as we're in this secure room, the ambassador of peace that's in the city hall, definitely a demon. So, just so you're aware of that.
Really now?
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
I'd do something about it, but I don't think there is currently anything I can do about it, so bided my time, as it were.
Buy your time as much as you like. I will offer one more thing, as 2 more weeks or 2 more lines before our little bout is to happen. Should you not convince him, I think I'm going to be paying a visit to this Yondo city. I will hire you if you would like to come along. You might.
I did think
show me
we had some plans to go there at some point, so that might work out.
Well, the option is there. For now, though, if you will please excuse us.
With that, Schnorsboop and Teffy, the two of you find yourself now standing in the Top Shelf Inn.
Very good.
Ultian, you do
I assume
not.
my ale has arrived. I will
Your
start
ale
drinking
has
it.
arrived. It's at the table, yeah, just waiting there. You, Ultian, though, find yourself still inside that room. Under a very different gaze. As soon as they vanished, her face dropped, the smile disappeared, and she's now looking at you with, well, it's expressionless.
You're responsible for a lot of deaths.
Comes with the job.
It does. No, I will not lie, Ultian, I am becoming tired of it. I want an end to wars. An end to the conflict constantly going on. I would side with you if it were not for the fact that the war was involved. would have encouraged all the other guilds to not take contracts. But I cannot side with a war. I beg of you, please, find a way to end this. Find a more peaceful way to remove those ahead. That does not involve us clashing all of our armies together. I have information I would give you. There is a primordial being housed in the 13th floor. I do not know which one it is, or what fashion, but I do know that they are using him, or it, whatever they are, to gather information they shouldn't have. This is part of the agreement Julian and I have made for the bout between. Should you win, I would be giving you this information, but I am giving it to you now. Because Julian has succeeded in getting into my head that what you are doing is very important and needs to continue on. That what I have to tell you cannot wait the 2 lines. There's another reason I am going to Yondo. I already knew of those 2 primordials. Something is moving its way to that city, and it has gathered the attention of Savath. He has sent his city to it. I will be heading there to gather if it's arrived yet. You are in the center of it all and have more information than I do, and clearly would not like to tell me everything. It would be helpful if you were with me for this. I know we are at odds with each other right now because of this challenge, but please trust me, it is purely political. My guild is stationed in Stronrith. I must keep a face. I will be leaving tonight. If you will be with me, then find me here. If not, perhaps our travels might come in the right direction, and I might help you where you're going. Either way, please keep me informed as to what you are doing. I would very much like the 3 Watchers to be at their strongest in 2 lines.
Things will change by the end of the lunar when the meeting happens.
The end of next Luna, you mean?
But you said something. It's just political. It's a very easy stance for people in your position to make. Times change, politics change, and war stays the same. There will always be conflict. But where I grew up, you don't get a choice to be political. You're alive or you're dead. Grantina will belong to the citizens of Grantina. No one else. Never again.
There is one thing he certainly was right about. You are hopeless.
And with that, you will find yourself in front of everyone else as well. Schnorr's Boop, drinking ale, calmly. Taffy there as well.
How'd it go?
It's about as well as you'd expect.
Really well?
Being the only one in the room.
Ah, quite poorly.
She wants us to convince him to go back to the seat of power. Well, that's opposed to my goal for Grantina. So we have a decision to make. I feel like you guys, the rest of the hand, should make a choice. Because I've already made mine. If our evidence doesn't help our cause, the evidence we gathered in Stromrith, then I go to war.
Then the world ends?
I have to take care of mine first.
Bah! The world is yours as well. If we don't save the world, then Grantina dies as well.
I'm hoping that I can do both.
You're fine-eyed, Holtian.
That's why I say the hand needs to make a decision.
I think before we make a decision, we need to talk to Julian. Once again, he has proven to be less than honest with us.
I think less than forthcoming.
Semantics.
I wouldn't say that our leader owes us
Door
all
bursts
information.
open
Oh,
mid-sentence, and you find on the other side a very gaunt, pale-looking woman with curly hair, and there's greys going throughout it. She looks furious. Ganders around the entire room and then fixates on you, Altian. You! And she walks forward towards you. You're beginning to recognize that this is Miss B, the barber, right above just above. She steps right up to you, grabs your face mask, pulls it close to her. Have you had your hair cut a single time since you've been away?
I haven't even bathed.
She turns, dragging your mask, and starts walking towards the door.
Okay, hold on.
Strength saving throw, I guess, to get out of this grapple.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't mind if he bathes. What about you, Teffy?
18.
18.
I'm fairly certain at least one of us has prestidigitation. It's not me, but we can just snap him clean at any time. We have more pressing matters.
She, with the 18, the hand extends out, doesn't pull Altian, but she spins and looks towards you, Taffy, with that. It's like, it is not a matter of cleanliness, it is a matter of length and matted hair. This one has not been taking care of it, I can tell. 5 minutes. That's all I need is 5 minutes. And I won't even charge you.
It'll take me that long to finish my ale.
Then sit.
Mm-hmm.
She starts pulling out some of her barber equipment. And here, hands you what looks to be another kind of mask, but it doesn't cover any of the hair or other portions. Put this on so I can have full access to your head.
I just unclaw the cloth portion, and I'm just gonna
Hold it.
hold my mask onto me.
There's a lot of.
You guys. Oh, sorry.
I'm still in crunchy voice there. This is a detail that I haven't described about my mask. So, like, you know how the eyes move and stuff?
Mm.
You know the domino mask, the old school superhero mask that
Oh,
were
yeah.
just like over the eyes and like the bridge of the nose? That's all like mechanical underneath my mask. The rest of it's just cloth. So that's mechanical and it moves with the muscles of my face. That's why I'm holding just that part of my face.
It's the eyes are squinting every now and then as well as she uses this metal comb to undo some of the knots in his now long hair. It's like, this is absolutely atrocious and a complete shame. You should be ashamed of yourself, Ultian. Starts cutting and snipping, bits of his hair falling down. By the end of it, 5 minutes, she's very professional in her work and very efficient with it. Gets it nice and neat, clean looking, unmatted, and you realize, Teffy, prestidigitation, I would have cleaned it, but oh, that hair was tangled. It looks as though he's never taken that mask off. And just as a result, the hairs have kind of grown around some of the fabrics, and maybe even through some of the cloth. Like, your beard is probably absolutely atrocious under there as well. That's part of your face, so it's your responsibility. Unfortunately. There. You're finished. Smacks you in the back of the head. Don't leave it so long next time. And then she leaves.
Oh, that's over. Back to business.
Random little interruption there.
Well, that was a taste of ale. Snotsup will flick a copper to the main orc man.
Catches it. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Your things are over there as well. He gestures at what looks to be 5 traveling packs.
Ah, thank you, good sir. I'll go over to the things. I'll put. I'll pick up one, and then I'll motion for the 2 larger individuals to take the other 4.
Tuffy picks up 2.
I do.
But is kind of leaning in a way that she wouldn't in the past.
Well, back to the guild, I suppose. I don't know what else to do.
Heading back up to the guild to go talk to
I
Julian.
wanted to
Yeah.
try something.
Yeah, what do you want to try?
Since I'm just sitting around thinking about everything else. When the hand vanished, which I now know they went somewhere extra dimensional, who knows? Because we've done this enough times. Anyhow, I am just going to send to Julian via modified primordial energy, because he doesn't have a ring or one of our communication systems, and I don't have a stone. But I think I've been watching all these long enough now to understand the mechanics behind it. I'm just gonna synthesize it.
Okay.
So he's not gonna really know where this comes from, though he's gonna know it's BT. So I'll let him ponder that. So that's the fun of it. But I'm just gonna say, were you expecting the hand to go somewhere interdimensional when they talked to this guild leader? Because they just did. Just letting you know. And then that's it. Because he has no way of returning that.
Roll me a percentile dice.
Okay, let's see what so we've had high and low. It should be in the middle today. Where did the there it goes? Oh, whoa! That was so close to a 99, but 95. Wow.
95. Well, you're lucky, because that means 95% of your message actually made it through. Because you're right, you've studied enough. You definitely don't have the spell slots. You don't have the aptitude of the Constitution right now. You've been racked by primordial energy, so even doing something small like this would have a sense of ow to it.
Yeah, but
But you do manage to get something off. And he... Oh, BT.
he can't respond.
You're right, he can't. He's just mumbling to himself wherever he's at.
This was via nothing that he asked.
Yeah. About 10 or so. No. A few minutes later. We'll just put that on it. The door opens up, and Julian walks in. He looks a little confused, and he walks to his desk, starts shuffling around some papers, then spins and sees you in the corner and goes, "Whoa! Ah! Oh! BT, are you alright?"
Owl.
I only know arcane means of fixing things, and I'm pretty sure those don't work on you.
No. I'm gonna be in bad shape for a few days.
Well, by all means, please continue taking up the corner. You're welcome to stay there as long as you like. Extra-dimensional space, was that you? It sounded like you.
Yeah.
Ah, unique trick. How do you mean?
You know, like when you take us to a different room to be secure, that disappears from the rest of the world. I couldn't track them for a bit, so when they went to talk to this guild lady, they went off dimension.
Ooh.
They're back now.
She is quite a powerful practitioner. A few degrees stronger than myself. I wouldn't say I expected it, but I also wouldn't say I'm surprised. Especially if she wanted
to make
to be
sure it wasn't a problem that we had to start going after, but they came back, so yeah. I expect them. Looks like they're making their way up here now.
Ah, well then I suppose I'll just wait here for them. He's just kind of standing there a little bit, looking around the room. I saw that freezing thing, that was unique. How did you do that?
Well, there was an avalanche coming down the mountain that was going to wipe out not only the hand, but a good chunk of the town too. So I figured changing the density of the ice in the snow to make ice wall to stop the avalanche was the idea.
You just decided to do it, and it happened.
Just the way I decided to talk to you, and it happened, in the way that I decided to teleport from the middle of town to the side of the mountain, and it happened. I'm growing, evolving.
I can tell. There was not very long ago that you were really just functioning. I remember a time where you would say, "I'm only 3 lines old." Nearly a full year now. How do you feel? Oh,
Like
cycle.
there's still a lot to learn.
Yes. I've been on here for very much longer than that as well, and still I find the same. About that point, there's probably a knock on the door. Come in, Hand. We're expecting you.
Hello, Julian.
Hello, Schnorsboop.
So, we had a conversation with the Jade Queen, and
Don't call her that. That'll put ideas in her head. Joke. That's a joke.
She seems to think. Well, she doesn't seem to think. She says she's very willing to call off this whole charade, which is just to humiliate and unemploy us. If you take your rightful place as the ruler of Grantinan.
Oh, that's nice. No. I won't do that. I know what she wants, and I know what several others want, and I refuse. Grantina should not be ruled by one. It deserves to go to the people, and they deserve to make the decision for themselves. I will happily set something up for that, but I will not take a crown.
What if the people chose you?
He sits down, buries his head in his hands. I don't know, Oltian. Not Oltian, Schnorsboop. I don't know.
So I'm just thinking, the way that she described it seemed like a more peaceable option than war and death and such. I think Oltian has other thoughts, but that's kind of mine.
He looks at you, Oltian. Then how would you do it? I know what you've told Luce and Franco. That Grantina deserves to be in the hands of the people, but what I cannot figure out is how to do that.
I'm being perfectly honest, I never imagined being alive to see that point. So I don't know. But they have to be able to choose who their leaders are, who represents them, and then those leaders need to be held accountable. And I mean truly.
They do choose their leaders, Oltian. There are elections on a regular basis. The Grantinan Senate is an elected house.
Is it? Then why are people starving? Being used as slave labor? It's because the leaders are not held accountable. They aren't afraid. That was the whole point of me. Is to give them a reason to stay up at night, to check that their doors are locked, and that a mob of people won't come in, tear them from their beds, and publicly punish them for mishandling their duties.
I would happily aid you and assist in all of this. Every single one of those people do not deserve the grace of living a single solar longer. But we must think of consequences. Were we to do that, and the new government would be founded upon blood. And I would
As
rather
opposed to
not.
the old.
Repeating the same thing and expecting a different result, Oltian, is the definition of insanity. If we are to found the basis of a new government on the old basis that the old one was founded on, what do you think we will find? The same results. The same thing happening again. It is not a solution. We must change how we do things in order to actually get different results. And as much as I don't like it, Quilana did bring up a fair point. The Balashtar Kingdom is the most stable kingdom. and it's ruled by a single man. The people here are happy, well-fed, no one's starving, and it's ruled by a monarchy. In fact, every place that we can look to that is ruled by an elected official basis, they are the ones falling apart. Yet I still find myself reluctant. I know the war cannot continue the way it is. And I know we cannot trust to give the people who are not educated or do not even know how to run or govern things themselves. As you said, they've been enslaved this whole time. How do you change all that without the decisions of a single person forcing it in? How do you form a government not based off of fear, but based out of mutual collaboration? As much as I agree with you, Altian, we cannot go down your path. Butchering and slaughtering them all will just leave a gap open for other greedy people to get their hands on the people of Grantinan. I need a solution.
Well, I mean, sounds like the Jade Queen already gave you one.
A solution that does not involve putting me on a throne.
Here's the thing. Nobody wants peace. I've been trying. Nobody wants it. Everybody wants to force people to do things. Everybody wants the violence. Even when I try to do some sneakery, they don't even listen. It seems like a hopeless case, which I'm not giving up on. But one of you needs to make a tough decision, seemingly, because I don't see any other choices. That being said, let me just tell you something I don't think I've ever told anyone, and that is, if you need my life, you can have it. And I was told a long time ago that, were I to die, someone would come who would destroy. So if that's what you're looking for, you could do that. I don't mind. But I don't see how peace is going to work here. And that makes me quite sad. That's all.
I want to ask for a roll for something in that, but give me a general persuasion check.
Okay. Let's see. I'll just use this inspiration before it goes away. 25.
25. Okay. I appear to be at a loss as well. It is quite... It is not a path I wanted to be on. I was trying to get other people to be in the right space for it, but... And then you came along, Altin, and you messed all of the plans up. It was going to be quite peaceful. The Aleuts had to get their hands in it. The political scene of things is a place I'd rather not find myself. And yet, here I am in the center of all of it. You're right, Snorsboop. No one appears to want to have peace. Everyone just wants to fight. Even your own companions here, all geared up for nothing but fight. And Alton's words themselves show that he's not willing to give up and show a peaceful hand. How do you fight against that? Stubborn individuals who will not give up on their way and are insistent that what they think is correct must be. Everywhere we look, we face it.
I don't see any fighting here in Palace.
Where were you yesterday, Big Tin?
I mean, between the people. The guilds, yeah, whatever.
That is the misnomer. Thing that keeps catching me out. Why is Balashtar free of it? Everywhere else we look, conflict, disagreements with their governments, people starving in the streets, incapabilities of feeding their own people, and here, though, here everyone is fine. The king even sends supplies, everything he can to support the surrounding areas. Much of the food that your rebellion forces are eating is because of King Shazam. Shalom, that's his name, not Shazam. That's a superhero. By many rights, he's the one keeping this continent together still. Keeping the people alive. And by every right, Soltine, he's the one that proves us wrong. That a country can be led and well fed through the rule of one. I have things to consider.
Maybe we should talk to him.
He does have a standing invitation for you. You're welcome in his court any day. I have things to consider of my own, things to plan, people to look for. If you all don't mind, I could use the room.
Of course.
With that,
I walk out.
he will even request for BT to leave for the time being so that he can take the space to think. You or leave him looking far more stressed and aged. You all know Julian's got age behind him. He's probably pushing 100, if not more. This is the first time you've really ever seen him look his age. He looks old and tired. Very tired. You meander out into the room. Outside the dining hall, now empty. Sound of cleaning happening inside the kitchen. With a fool's all in. Go for it.
As we leave the room, I lean over to Ultian and whisper as best I can. I wasn't joking. If you need my life, it's yours. When he comes, though, just tell him a friend needed it. He'll understand.
I'm more confused than before. What?
If you need someone to be a destroyer, it's not going to be me. But if I'm dead, a destroyer will come.
I'm going to look over at... Hold on.
Strange.
I'm going to look over at Teffy and just be like...
Prophecy.
And that was whispered. That was a whisper. A
Did
cool
Taffy hear it?
16 whisper stealth.
That's a
Oh,
great
Tiffy didn't hear
question. No, Taffy didn't. Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to lean over to Teffy, away from Snozboop, over to Teffy.
Did you hear what he just said?
I heard what he said in the room just now. From how I understand it, there are only a certain number of spots in the party, and so if he were to vacate his position, then the position could be filled by someone with more destructive tendencies.
Is he suggesting I outright kill him in order to replace him with somebody worse?
I'm not sure if that's what he's
That might be
suggesting
fun.
per se. I feel like he'd prefer to live.
Just to be clear, that is what I'm suggesting as needed.
I'm not sure how that'll work in terms of how this destroyer is going to arrive necessarily, but let's hope we don't have to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
So you make it down the stairs into the living room, unless you all have anything else.
There was a banana peel on the stairs. Snozboop steps on it. Goodbye, Snozboop.
Break the spine in 4 places on the way down.
But no, I'm joking. No.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
yeah.
now, BT would shatter you on a banana peel.
True. The door opens up and a very familiar Grung walks through. He looks panicked, a little worried. There's big beads of sweat coming down the side of his face.
They can sweat?
This one apparently can, yeah, absolutely. Very comically as well. Very comically.
No.
They're jumping off of his
Like
forehead.
they're flying out of his pores. Like they get squeezed out and they just go boop, 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 boop. Like little drops, like projectile tears almost. And as he sees Ultian, they get worse.
That's normal.
Yeah.
What happened?
There might have been an incident. And that's where we're going to finish for the night.
The year may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles